everyone, and welcome to my coloring corner. Today, oh, excuse me, I breathed in the wrong way. Today is Tips and Tricks Tuesday. Let's not choke on it. And we're going to continue with our wonderful, adorable animals grayscale coloring book by Jane Day. And we're going to finish, well, we're going to color the cat in this picture. And we're going to color it in grays, because I saw an adorable kitty of a friend of mine, and she got a new kitten, and I'm going to color him the same way because he's just so cute. Cute little kitties. I love cute little kitties. But anyway, we're going to color our wonderful little kitten, and hopefully we'll get finished up with the kitten today. I will go through and color the napkin under him and the floor. I'm going to leave the wood aspects as well as the window aspects for next week. And we will finish this picture next week, I think. Woohoo! So, when coloring an animal, animals have different folds and different curves and different movements in their fur. So, as you can probably see, there's little wisps of white fur everywhere. And we're going to try to maintain that white fur. And in order to do that, of course, we need a white pencil. So I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera. And we're going to actually not take a white pencil, but we're going to take, as soon as I can find it, I thought I had it out. What did I do with it? Oh my goodness. I have lost my mind. And my blender pencil. Oh no. Teach me to clean my desk. What have I done with my blender pencil? Okay. Well, we're going to use the blender pencil. I would rather use the Caran d'Ache because it works a little bit better for what I'm going to do. But for some reason, I can't find... Oh, there it is. I found it. I found it. Now, I'm going to put a tight point on this. So I have my Caran d'Ache blender pencil. And we're going to put a really tight point on it. And you can do this with a white pencil as well, if you don't have a blender pencil. But I'm going to go through and I'm just going to go through the lines. Let's make sure that you can see what I'm doing. Here, let's move this camera view here. Goodness. Let's see here. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize that I was so far out of screen. Let's close that, open this, and move you along. Let's see. There we go. And then we will put the kitty's face in view. We want the kitty. We want the kitty. There we go. Okay, so now that we have the kitty's face in view, we're going to go along these lines that we want to stay white with the blender pencil. Oop, trying not to break your blender pencil. Don't press too hard. I'm pressing way too hard, obviously. Now I found that colored pencil, if you do the blender pencil and then you try to color over the blender pencil, with this one in particular, and I have tried it with a couple of others, but this one in particular keeps the pencil from sticking to it. So I'm just going over a little bit of the face here. I know this part's probably pretty boring to you. And down off the chest here a bit. So now I'm not going to do this entire area white. I'm going to do it gray. So I'm not going to color that area with the blender pencil. I'm just going to put a few little white hairs here and there. The hairs in his ears and so forth. Now I do have a tendency to put too much pressure on the pencil when I can't see where it's going. So that's why I'm pressing harder than I should, because I can't see nothing. Now I should have some whiskers, but we'll draw those in later. This cat doesn't have any whiskers. What other areas do I want to be white? I want this area under his eyes to be white. Around his ear there. Okay, so we've got his face pretty much done with what I want to be white. So we're going to grab some grays. Let's see. And the black, because he's going to have little black hairs. That's sapphire. I don't think that's going to work well for me. That's green. Where's my black? There it is. Black and dark gray. So we have metallic silver, which we're going to use, believe it or not, light gray, dim gray, dark gray, and black. And we will take our white pencil as well. So these are the colors that we're going to use on this cat. You kitty, kitty, kitty. So just so you can see the color names, maybe, if I can get them to all roll in the right way. And of course, they're all upside down, so. So we've got white, black, dim gray, dark gray, light gray, and metallic silver. So the first thing we're going to take, of course, is our darker colors. So we're going to take a bit of the black, and we're just going to do little ticks. Just little ticks in those darker areas. We don't want a lot, just a few little ticks of black. Here and there. Now we're not going in any motions. We're just doing little ticks so that it's in the direction of the fur. You can be as random as you want, because fur. All right, I do apologize. So we're just going to go in little ticks with the black. And believe it or not, fur is quite boring to do. Okay, I think we've got enough of the black in there. A little bit on his nose.
think. We'll go around his nose a little bit. And we'll, of course, be adding a little bit more later on as well. Okay, so let's switch it back on over. There we go. That's better. Now you can see what I was doing. Oh, isn't that nice of me? Alright, so now we're going to take the dim gray and we're just going to extend those dark areas. And we're just going to go a little bit further than the black. Once again, just going in the direction of the fur in little ticks. Try not to get too exuberant with the dark. Because we're going to come back in with a medium gray. And then we'll come back in with a lighter gray. Just make sure that you're moving with the fur. Like down here, you can see that the fur is going down. So now you've got to move with the fur going down. Now with this fur, you can see that it's coming out the side. So then you go in the direction of the fur coming out the side. Up here you can see that it's coming out the top. Try to keep your pencil as sharp as possible when doing this so that you can get those fine lines. I'm going to sharpen my pencil a little bit. It's still sharp, but it's not as sharp as I'd like it to be. So we'll put a bit more of a point on it. That's better. And there we go. Basically all we're doing is we're just filling in the darker grayscale with the darker colors. And as we move along, we'll start adding the lighter colors. And I could have done this one orange, the way that the artist did, but I had to. Tammy's kitty is just too darn cute not to. Alright. Winchester. Its name is Winchester. So we're going to do this like Winchester. Just going to make sure I have enough of the dark gray in there, and that I've moved it out just enough. Just doing his little eyebrows, or eyelids, I guess they would be, because these are his eyebrows. Okay, so right now I'm just working on his face and his ears. And as you can see, I went over this area with the blender pencil, and it's not picking up a lot of that dark gray. It's picking up enough to show that I've got some movement there, but it's not to a point where it's taken over that white area, which is what I wanted. Just extending those blacker lines out a little bit. There we go. And so far there's our kitty. I know he's in the ugly kitty stage, but now we're going to take our dim gray, I'm going to sharpen it up. Get it to a nice point. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to extend it out. And cover all those medium gray areas. Once again, going in little ticks and covering those medium areas. Just going to bring that down a little bit. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. My week has been pretty cool. I hit 1,000 subscribers on Saturday. So I applied for my monetization because they say that it should take a month or more. And I was actually monetized today. So you will probably notice on the recording today that there is a lot more ads. And that's because I was monetized, which is really kind of cool. It opens a lot of different avenues for more content and that sort of thing. More prizes, more content where it's not going to be a financial thing because the channel will pay for itself now, which is really, really cool. And the fact that, I can make some money at it and still hang out with all of you and, that sort of thing, that I'm actually, kind of doing something I really like to do and maintaining a income is really cool. I don't know how much of an income, but it's more than I started with. All right. So I'm only doing the outer edges of this area because that area in there is going to be lighter. So then we're going to go up into this area. And as you can see, those areas that I covered, see if I go over it, it stays white. Those are the areas that I added that blender pencil to. So those areas will stay white even if I cover right over top of them. Just filling that out in little Winchester's face. Alright. I think we've got all the medium gray areas done in his face. And we'll continue that on down throughout his body as well. I just wanted to get his little face done. Now we're going to take our light gray and we're going to cover up these areas as well. Now this part, you can just do a back and forth and it'll be fine. Because this part here is short hair, so even though it's still hair, it's a fairly short hair in that area, so it's not gonna this area here, however, do a bit of flicking to maintain that movement of hair. Excuse me. So as you can see, the area that right underneath his eye that I put that white blender pencil in, or the blender pencil itself, isn't picking up a lot of the color, which is really cool. This area here that I did in white isn't picking up a whole lot of the color. It's picking up a little bit of it, but not extreme. I do apologize. The train decided to say hello. Teach me to film first thing in the morning. I'm just going back through with a little bit darker, adding a little bit more color to it. And getting that color all mixed in. And then we're going to come up in here and we're going to bring that color out. And then up into his ear. Some of his ear I'm going to leave so that I can do it some pink. This area here I'm going back and forth and doing a flicky motion, getting those flicks in there. Now we're going to do this side and go down his nose one more time. I want it to be a little bit grayer. Just going through here and blending that all in, getting any major dark areas covered. And I know I'm jumping around everywhere, aren't I? Going from one area to the next. Now on his little chin. And I know it doesn't look exactly like Winchester, but the little gray kitty just stole my heart. I wanted to color a little gray kitty because he's just so cute. Alright. And there we have our little gray kitty. And then we're going to take our white and we're just going to enhance some of those little areas that we put the white in. And use this for a bit of a blender too. Just to tone down that warm gray just a touch. We could have used the silver gray instead of the light warmer gray, but I think the light warmer gray works better. I think it fits better. And these are the Artilicious colored pencils, and I find that they blend really well with the white pencil. So if you're without your blender pencil, have no fear, just use your white. It does dull things down a little bit, but it does blend really well. And it fills in all those white spots, like his little hairs that are sticking out, which we want to have a nice bright white. So alrighty, there's our cutesy pie little kitty. Let's get a nice little pink, a bit of a peachy pink. Here we go. And we will do his cute little button nose. Just going to do the light part first. And then I think we're going to go a little bit brighter to this part down here. There's his cute little nose. And we're going to take some of this pink and we're just going to put it in his ear. Then we're going to take our white and we're just going to blend that in. Like so. And then we're going to do his other ear. And we'll blend it in. And there we have it. Now for his eyes, I'm going to do his eyes a very, very lovely blue. So I need this one. I need this one. So we're going to take a sapphire blue and I'm going to try to keep you in screen. I'm going to take our blender pencil and just do that area there for the white. In case I go over it. It's not a big deal if I do because I can add those little dots after with the gel pen. So once again with the sapphire blue at the edges. And little spots throughout the eye. And then we're going to take this one after I sharpen it, which is dark turquoise. And we're just going to gently go into that darker blue with it. And bring it out a little. Okay. And try not to bring it out too much, because baby kitten eyes are usually a silvery gray blue color. And let's see, do I have anything lighter? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the white. Where did I put it? I'm going to take the white pencil and we're just going to dull down that blue just a little bit. And I could have done this with, say, silver, or yeah, let's add a little touch of silver. Just a touch. Just to get that silvery blue look. That baby kitty's eyes have. Yeah. I don't like the way that eyebrow looks, or that eye there looks. So I'm just going to blend that in a bit. Looks a little harsh on the screen. That's a little better. Just trying to soften that dark blue line there. Just a little bit. There, that's a little better. And then we can take our light gray and let's go underneath his eye a little bit. Extend that out. Okay. Then we'll take our blender and we'll just blend that all in together. Alright, and there we have it. There is our cute little kitten's face. Now we're going to move down onto his chest. And once again, we're going to take our blender pencil and we're going to add some wisps of white. Let's get it nice and sharp. So here we've got a wisp of white. Just a few random wisps. Make sure that all his little wispies that may get covered up by background stuff get a covering so that they don't get covered up by background stuff. I'm just going to tip you forward here a little bit. There you go. Now you can actually see what I'm doing. Isn't that nice of me? So I'm giving his chest here quite a bit more white than I did in his face, because his chest is going to be lighter than the rest of him. The same with his paws, are going to be lighter than the rest of him. Okay. All right, now we're going to take we're not going to use our black. We're going to use, make sure I don't put sapphire in there. We're not going to use the black on his chest. We are going to use the really dark gray though. And we're just going to do a couple of little flicks through these really dark areas. I'm just following the direction of the hair. The hair is coming down in this direction, so going up in this direction still works. As long as you're going in the general direction of the hair with the little flicks. It's just easier to flick up than it is to flick down sometimes. Okay. Now we're going to take our medium color here. Oh, did I just use the wrong one? I did. I used the wrong one. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this with the dim gray because I grabbed the wrong one. The dim gray is the lighter and the dark gray is the medium. I know that sounds strange, doesn't it? You would expect it to be the other way around. And I'm just putting these little flicks in of the darker gray. And I'll go back over it with the dim gray and finish off the stripes. Because he's a stripy kitty with dark and light stripes and grays. Alright, now we're going to go into the dim gray. Let's see if I can do this right this time. And we're just going to extend that out. You don't have to go really far because we're going to add some light gray and white areas to this area as well. But just make sure, you know, his little stripes look like little stripes, basically. That's my basic lesson here. Just make sure his little stripes look like little stripes. Then we're going to take our light gray and we're just going to extend that out a little bit more with the light gray. And cover up a couple of those areas. And like I said, you're just doing little flicks so that you're still leaving the definition of those hairs. Try to keep your pencil as sharp as possible to get that look. Another thing that you can do, of course, is you can add your whites, or you know, if your Prisma white is handy, it's probably the best one. If you don't have your white handy, your Prismacolor white, if you don't have one, that's fine too. Just use your blender pencil. And as you can see, all the areas that we put white, or that we put the blender pencil, are staying white. See, I can go over this a couple of times and it doesn't pick up the gray. If I go over it a whole bunch of times, it will pick up the gray. And I'm just giving a couple of the light gray hairs here for those ones that I didn't do white. And down here. Now we're going to go over it with our white and just blend it all together. I'm just moving in the same direction as the hair still. If you go in swirly motion, you can end up removing that sticking foundation that you put in. So try to make sure that you go in the direction of the hair, even with your white pencil. And there's his little chest. And I think I want to take a little bit more of this light gray here, a little bit more of the medium to connect those areas. There we go. That's better. Alright, so let's move a little bit further down and go to his paws. Now we need dim gray, which is our darkest. Other than black. I'm just doing the bottom areas here that need a little bit of shadow. And then we're going to do a little bit of black down here where the pad of his paw looks like it's sticking out just a bit there. Same with down here between the paw toes. Just going to give a little bit of definition there with some black. Then we're going to take our medium color, which is dark gray. Make sure I've got the right ones in my hand. And we're just going to extend this out. Now the hair on the paw is coming down and going up because of the way that paws go. So this area here is going up, this area here is coming down in this direction. Like that. Now we're going to take our light gray and we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to fill that in. Now the most of his paws down below here, I'm going to leave white. So this whole area on his paw, I'm leaving white. So I'm just going to bring some of that light gray up into it, and then the rest of it I'm just going to leave white. And we'll go over that with the white. Just into that lower line there. Just to make sure that if I do go down too far on that line, I won't mess up this line, if that makes sense. Now we're going to take the dim gray again, and I know I'm getting close to an hour here, so I will show you a little bit more of these darker lines here around his neck. So I'm going to take the dim gray and the black, and I'm going to just add a little bit of black into those really dark areas. And we're going to do a little bit into his neckline here. And then the rest of it I will finish off camera. And next week we will move on to the window. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because I'm going to flip it upside down so I can do around the window and do the wood and everything else. Now watch your lines here. Make sure that you get all the way in to where the lines start. So that you're not getting weird clumps of areas, like weird clumps of white areas. Alright, now we're going to take our dim gray and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go in and extend this black out of it. And again, I'm just moving in little strokes in the direction that the fur is laying. Now with grayscale, this is really easy to learn. I find that with the grayscale, it teaches you a lot more, or a lot better, on where the flicks should be, so that when you start doing it on your line art, you can just see it. You can just see where it's supposed to be. But until you can see it, it makes it hard to do. In my opinion, anyway, that's what I found. Is that until I could actually see where that line was going to be, it made it a lot harder to put that line there. All right, now I'm bringing it down a little bit further into this dark area down here. Now I'm not going to put any black into this area down here, just this dark gray. I just want the black up here to make sure that that shadow line is nice and dark from where his neck is. Now there's not as much white on his body either, so we're going to be using a lot more of just the grays. Just remember, like when you get up here, his fur is going this way. So make sure that you flick in that direction. And his fur is going to get longer as you go down the back. So where you did little tiny flicks up there, now you got to extend them a bit. Make them a little bit longer. This is just the way I learned how to do fur. I'm not saying this is the exact way to do it. It's just the way I learned how to do it. And I find that it works really well, especially when you're not a trained professional, you're not an artist, you don't have an artist eye. And you're just learning the steps. Is to, with doing a grayscale first, it gives you those steps on which way to move, which way to teach your hand to work. I really enjoy arts, but I'm not really great at them, so like drawing and painting and stuff like that, I'm not very good at that at all. We're going to use a little bit of black down here because of the shadow of the leg, just to define that shadow a little bit. Now we'll blend it in with this darker black, darker gray, I mean. Same with down here where his tail is. We'll be adding some black there as well. Okay, so now let's go into the medium gray. And we're just going to bring that medium gray in, extending that dark gray out and into those other lines. And his hair is all moving in this direction. So that's the direction that we need to move for this area. Soon it will start straightening out in this area, and then it'll start curving down. So as you can see, we're starting to curve down now. Where in this area here we're going straight. And then we start curving down here. So I'm just moving that gray down, and as it gets longer into the fur, the longer my strokes get. I'm going to have to sharpen my pencil soon. Okay, so now we're going to add the light gray. We're going to do the same thing because there's little wisps of white in there, and I want to keep some of those wisps of white, but still keep that light gray showing as well. And up here it's facing up. Down here it's starting to straight out. So this is an area that goes straight out. And then it starts going down. And it's just basically following the line of the cat. So if the cat is standing up, more likely the fur is going to go straighter. If the cat is stretching, of course, it's definitely going to go straighter, and if it's sitting, it's going to curve towards the bottom. Now, because he's laying down, it's curving as he's curled. So watch what what stance the animal is in, and it will tell you what direction his fur will be going. Like I said, with this being a gray and white cat, a gray and white cat, it's fairly simple to make sure that you've got the hairs in the right spot. Even with an orange cat, it's pretty much the same. It's just using a different set of colors, I guess. It's a little bit harder to see with the gray cat on where everything is. Especially those little hairs. But as you can probably see, you can see where I've colored and where I haven't. And like I said, I wanted to keep this chest area and his face a little bit lighter. I think I'm going to take a bit of this silver gray and just connect that in there. Same with down here. Just going to connect that all together. And we're going to use it in here as well. It's more of a cool gray, so it blends into it a little bit more than the warm gray. Just giving it that little bit more, a little bit extra. And the metallic in this silver isn't overly shiny. It's just a really good light gray color, especially once you blend it and whatnot. Pretty much takes that shine out of it. And if you go over it with white, it takes that shine completely out of it. But I want a little bit of shine in it, so because it's cat fur. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. All right, guys. So we got to this part of the cat done. We've got this paw. Let's finish this paw and then we're going to call it a day. I need my dark gray and my dim gray. There we go. So let's do this area. Just make sure that you're moving in. And that's the biggest thing with doing any fur type things. And that's the only thing really that I can really teach you about that is follow the fur. You know, if it's a line art, follow the clues. There's always a clue or two on where that fur is going. And we will take a look at that in a couple of different segments as well when I will be doing a line art animal so that you can see what I mean by follow the clues. And it works the same with fish, it works the same with water, you know, pretty much anything you know that you need to color is every artist, every really good artist leaves little clues on how they visualize things. Of course, you don't have to follow those clues. You can deviate from what the artist wanted to do in that area. But, and of course, you have the full control of what colors you use. But when it comes to wanting to do realistic type fur and stuff like that, it's a lot easier to get the results that you expect if you just follow the clues that the artist has given you. Just going to take a bit of black. I'm just going to go in here and down here in those shadow areas. See, if I hadn't followed the clues on this one, you know, his fur would look a little bit flatter than it does. But that's my best advice to anybody that's learning the basics is look at the picture. Look at what the picture is saying to you. You know, every picture has a vision that the artist wanted for it. So try to see that vision. If you have trouble seeing that vision and you know that somebody else has colored that picture, take a look at the way they colored it. Take a look at the lines that they've used and that sort of thing, and you know, get a better impression or another colorist view so that you can move in the direction you want to move to. Now I'm going to grab this darker pink because I don't think his nose is dark enough down here. Don't think it's pink enough. And it's bugging me because I want him to have a cute little pink nose. Okay. Alright, so let's switch on over to the main camera here. So you can see the difference between what we've colored and what we haven't. So even though this is a grayscale and we're coloring this cat gray, you can still see a difference between the grayscale colors and the colors that we've added. We've made it darker, we've made it stand out a little bit more, we've given it that definition. And that's basically all that grayscale is adding the color to give the definition and make it stand out a little bit more realistically. And with that, I would like to say thank you very much for joining me. I hope that this was helpful. And of course, like I said, I am now monetized, so you will be seeing a lot more advertisements in my videos than you have because of the monetization. I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining me. If you are not a subscriber to the channel, hit the subscribe button, especially if you enjoy the videos that I'm doing. Of course, hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps me out in understanding what you enjoy, so that I can make sure that I'm doing content that is appreciated and required or wanted, I guess is the word, by the community. As well as it tells YouTube that people enjoy my videos, to please send more people to look at my videos. So please hit the like button. It does help me out quite a bit. And always leave a comment. I really enjoy reading your comments, and I love talking back and responding to them. You know, having that community connection is one of my favorite parts of doing these videos and having this YouTube channel, as well as my Facebook group. Yes, I do have a Facebook group. So if you want to join me over on Facebook, please feel free to do so. It is My Coloring Corner, and of course the links are in the description below. Just make sure that you fill out the application form. There's like 2 or 3, maybe 4 questions that need to be answered. This is a requirement. I will not accept anybody into the group, and neither will my administration, who haven't filled out those application questions. This is to protect you, protect our group, and to protect our members from people that are stealing other people's information, as well as pictures, because they are in actual fact logging into or joining these groups, coloring groups, and taking people's completed pictures and turning them into diamond paintings, posters, bookmarks, things like that. And nobody's getting paid for them except for those people. The artist isn't getting the credit they deserve, and the colorist is not getting the credit that they deserve. It takes a lot of work to color these pictures, and these people are just taking them, and I don't want that happening in my group. So in order to protect everybody from that happening, I have the questionnaire and the requirements of that application. People that are going to do that aren't going to fill out the application form. So that's why I have the application form, and that's why nobody gets into the group without filling it out. I know it will keep my group numbers really small, because there are still some people out there that just that don't want to fill out an application form, and that's fine. But unfortunately, in order to get into my group, that's what you need to do. Other than that, guys, I want to say a couple of different things. First of all, I want to say happy birthday to my husband. It is Bob's birthday today, so I am off to bake him a birthday cake. And I would like to say happy birthday to one of our subscribers and our Facebook members, Raven. Happy birthday to you, and I hope you have had a wonderfully colorful day. All right, guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Of course, remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Until tomorrow, where we have our Work in Progress Wednesday, bye-bye for now.